Hello and welcome to my podcast, Chronicles of a Daisy. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. You can be anywhere else, listening to anyone else, but thank you for trusting me as a voice that is going to pour into you and just fill your cup, fill your heart with encouragement and just the reality of what we are living in right now and the times that we are living. And I want to thank you for being a part of my community, being a part of my ecosystem. And if you are new, welcome. Hola. Thank you so much. I want to invite you to follow me on my different platforms, my different social media platforms where you will be able to keep up with more of my projects, things that are happening, and just how we can stay together. We can hold each other accountable as we are part of an ecosystem of women who are on a mission to equip our children and raise them in an environment that is filled with love, with joy, and with peace. You can follow me on Instagram, you can follow me on Facebook, you can follow me on LinkedIn and Spotify. We are on Spotify. You can also follow our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and iHeartRadio. But you can find me under Emily Daisy Gasca or the Reading Environmental Specialist. And so many exciting things happening in the future for Emily Daisy. So I hope that you all continue to follow, support. What my goal is to serve you in your needs in this hour, as we are just women who try to navigate it all, right? Some of us are mothers, some of us are educators, some of us are wives, sisters, daughters. We just serve so many roles, and it can become overwhelming if we don't identify our roles and set our boundaries, and also making sure that we are pouring into ourselves and each other. So it's important to really have that self care. What does self care mean to me? I want to challenge you to take the time to write down what is it that you need to be able to pour into yourself and to show up fully as a wife, a mother, a teacher, a human being in society as we go shopping, as we interact with other people? Who are we? I was working on this assignment and I want to challenge you with it. What are three words that if you were to go into a social setting, let's say a restaurant, a meeting, a family gathering, or a social event with coworkers or with friends, what are three words that you would want to be and show up as? For example, three of the words that I decided were confidence and boldness. I figured are one. They kind of align and go together. Then I wanted to show up as wise, humble, and as a person here to serve. So my words are confident, wise, and a servant. Those are the three words that when I interact with other people, if I show up in a family gathering, if I show up at a conference, if I go into the workplace, the atmosphere, into my classroom, I want to show up as a servant, confident, and wise. My fellow colleagues or people that I'm with, and be able to show up as confident, wise, and as a woman that is a servant. I'm here to serve. I'm here to show up as who I'm created to be and walking in my purpose. And I feel like those are the three things that right now I need to be working on. And it's going to shift and transformed into that, because we are very transformational people if we set our goals and if we identify and have this premeditated in our head. I want to show up as a confident, wise servant everywhere I go. Then I'm already premeditating on that. I've already set my mind, and my mind is going to begin to start to find the words to speak to show that I'm confident. My body language is going to start to speak and show that I am confident, that I am wise and servant. If you're not confident, then people are not going to take us serious. So knowing how to be wise, but to serve others is very important for me. I want to be able to pour into people in ways that they're able to receive it, because we may know so much information and we have the solution you need. However, we have to be very wise in the moment and serve them, serve the people, and at their ability, at their perception. And that is not easy. That is something that takes a lot of self reflecting and a lot of self awareness, but more importantly, aware of others. We have to get outside of our mind. Usually that's where we get stuck. We come to a situation or we're having a conversation and we're starting to prejudge, what are they going to say? What are they going to do? Is stopped. It's blocked because we block it with our own thoughts, our own prejudgment of ourselves. And sometimes it could be about the other people too. That's why it's so important to never judge somebody based on your first interaction. You will be able to tell who people truly are, because the truth will always rise. You just have to give it time. And that's why you have to be so wise as to how you're going to show up and be confident in who you are. Be confident in who you're showing up as, not so much as going and just wanting to be wise and confident, but not identifying, what can this person receive in this hour? What can this person receive in this moment? What can I say? What words can I use that is going to allow them to see things in a different way? That's where being a servant really comes into play. If you can serve others, you will be able to show your wisdom and confidence without sounding or being prideful or shutting people down, because there's an entry point for every person. It's just like in the classroom. When you have your set of students, there's some students who you've got the objective, you've got the skill for your lesson, and there's some kids that are just going to soar. They're going to get it right away. They're used to using that part of the brain. They're used to understanding things and making connections because they were taught that way. But then there's other kids who are not so used to it, and you have to connect the dots for them. You have to break down that skill and show them, this is a root. Okay, so now I'm going to give you the next set of instructions. I want you to start wrapping your mind around that. Your brain is going to begin to receive the information and start making connections. It's very interesting the way our brain works. Am I going to really be able to make an impact in this person or in this setting or in this group of people's lives? Because you may be at a different chapter in your life, and they may be at a chapter that is advanced or still not where you are. So you want to be confident in who you are, because that, just because they're at a level that's advanced, it does not take away from your knowledge, your wisdom. So we have to be able to identify our confidence and to truly walk in that. I'm confident because it took me this many hours, this many degrees, this many failures to get to where I am right now. So never allow somebody else's ability to stop you or to steal from your confidence and your wisdom. That is why being a servant is going to be so important for me, because I want to be able to show up as who Emily Daisy Gasca is, no matter what group or setting I am in. Because even though they may be at a higher level, I want to learn from you. What can you show me? And vice versa. Because iron is always going to sharpen iron. You may be in a level that I strive to be in one day, but that doesn't mean, or that doesn't take away from what the wisdom that I have, the knowledge that I carry. So that is why I'm a servant. I'm here to serve and to learn and grow with you. And if somebody is in a level that maybe they may be trying or aspiring to get to a position that you may have some knowledge and wisdom in. Being a person who is comfortable and confident in who they are requires us to self-reflect and to be self-aware that we are always growing, we are always learning, and every interaction we have with somebody, there's something that we can gain and take away from. Every action, every encounter that we have with people or in groups and settings. So I want to remove that layer of us thinking there's only one way of doing things. There's a blessing in being in an environment and with people that are at a higher level. That's why it's important to always have that servant heart and to remain humble. So, as we go on this week, I want you to think about, what are your 3 words? Who do you want to show up as? And start mapping it out. So, in order to be this, I need to be confident, wise, and I need to be a servant. So, think about 3 words and write them down. And when you do, I want you to start, your brain is going to start looking for that. Your brain is going to start giving you the words to show up confident, right? For example, my 3 words, it's going to give you the words to show up as wise and wisdom, and you're going to be seeking wisdom. You can walk in the confidence of who you are. Don't let nothing and no one take away who you are. Don't ever let an environment or a group of people or a setting make you feel belittled or less than. I want to challenge you today to walk in your purpose. And in order for us to fully walk in our purpose, we have to identify who we are and be confident in that. So, if confidence is a word that you need to focus on, break those barriers that our own brain has created to stop us and make us think that we're less than. No. Who do you want to show up? If you were to walk into a room and it was, let's say, the president of the United States, somebody of influence, right? Or in our case, let's say it was Cardona, the Secretary of Education. Illinois Sanders. He is the Illinois State Board of Education CEO, Sanders. Or if you are in the city of Chicago, right? If we were to go and encounter the CEO for CPS, Pedro Martinez, how do you want to show up? If now thinking about somebody famous, somebody who is about to grant your wish, make your wish come true, who is famous, let's say it's a philanthropist, let's say it is a singer, somebody who you look up to. And I will say, one of the persons, for example, if I were to come into and have this opportunity, let's say for me, it would be, I'm thinking somebody like Marco Antonio Solis, an amazing Mexican singer. And let's say he had this amount of money to put into education, and he is interviewing different educators. If I had that opportunity, how am I going to show up? It's time that we start to think ahead. Like, we need to tap into the greatness of who we truly are. We are only using 10% of our brain. Building this community and ecosystem of mamas, of educators, of amazing women on a mission to creating an environment that is loving, joyful, peaceful, and filled with patience for our future generations. Ladies, we've got to show up in a way that shows them, because they're watching us. As we are thinking about cultivating these environments for them, it starts with us. It starts with our own mind and getting out of our own way and tapping into every part of our brain that's going to help us achieve the goals that we have. So, this is a simple activity, and I really challenge you. What are your 3 words? As I shared my 3 words of confidence, wisdom, and servant, I'm going to start identifying them. You all know my favorite thing to do when I'm learning something, when I'm trying to change or grow, is I will look up a word and I will look up the definition. So, what does confidence mean? What are the antonyms of confidence? Same thing with wisdom. So, as I'm on this journey, you never know who you're going to encounter. I may very well be in the airport when Marco Antonio Solis is right there. And if I have an opportunity to go and speak to him and just say hi, like, I'm gonna do it. All freaking out because he's used to that. Am I gonna stand? Am I gonna show up as the confident, wise, and servant woman that I am choosing to walk in and be? And that is what's gonna stand out when he sees me and he encounters me. because thousands and millions of women and men who see him have their moments. They get so that's the typical reaction. Same thing if I were to see Sanders or Cardona or the president. I want to have a word with you, but I'm going to show up as confident, wise, and a servant. If we're not proactive, if we don't have this planned out, our brain is going to freeze. And it's going to be like, afterwards, you're going to regret it. Like, why did I do this? Why did I say that? Why didn't I? All the regret comes in. And the brain is wired to think that way. We have to be proactive and consistent. It starts in our everyday lives. How am I showing up when I go to the grocery store? How am I showing up when I go to Starbucks and get my drink? Am I wasting her time, my time, and the people behind me's time? Showing up as lack of time management, self-centered, selfish, because I'm only thinking about me, right? So I challenge you today to think about, how are you showing up everywhere you go? In the morning when you walk into the office, how are you showing up? Are you zooming past everybody because you need to get to the clock, where you punch in or where you clock in? Or are you walking in with confidence, wisdom, and being a servant? Good morning. How are you? Oh, let me get that for you. I'll hold the door for you. See, if we're not proactive, if we are not premeditating on these things, you're going to be like, I'm not holding the door for them. They never hold the door for me. Why am I going to hold the door for them? I've already shared my 3 words. Even though I feel like I'm very confident, I'm a servant, but there's always room for more. So I challenge you that even though you may feel like, no, I'm already bold, let me challenge you, because there's always room for more. There's always space for us to continue to grow and expand. And I'm a confident person, but I wouldn't be prepared if I were to see Marco Antonio Solis, if he were to show up today. So now I'm being proactive and I'm preparing myself now, because it can happen in the future. It can happen. Or that's just one example, but any famous person, any person, how are you going to show up? And it's just little activities that I'm suggesting for my audience, for all of you amazing, beautiful people. Thank you so much for being here, because it's going to truly transform the way we show up. And my goal for us as a ecosystem, as an environment, is to really tap into all of our beautiful talents and gifts to fully walk in our purpose and destiny with love, joy, and so much peace. Again, I am Emily Daisy Gasca, the Reading Environmental Specialist. I am a wife, a mother of 3 beautiful children, navigating the roles as an educator, as a wife, a mom, and just trying to help cultivate an environment everywhere I go that's filled with love, joy, and peace. Showing up fully as who I was created to be. No more shyness, no more doubt, no more confusion, right? I've been through that and I'm not going back. So now I'm on a mission to continue on my destiny, continue walking in my purpose and leading my colleagues, students, my family, all of you. It's time that we walk in the fullness of who we were created to be. So I want to thank you today and just continue to show up, continue to shine your light everywhere you go, because you already have everything inside of you that the people around you need, especially your family and your students and the people you work with. I love you all. This has been a wonderful session. I pray that you come back next week for our next topic. And love you all. Don't forget to follow me on all my social media accounts. I will also share my digital card, because there are so many wonderful things happening for Emily Daisy. Have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you all soon. Also, keep your comments coming, keep the reviews coming. I want to hear from you. What do you need? What do you need in this hour? I will talk to you all soon. Take care. Hasta luego. Bye.